Ugh. MGraw did not make any element coupling for 1 month. Still 30 element couplings.
Oof. He could create more very soon.
Hey MGraw, it seems that you did not make any element coupling for 1 month. Why are you happy?
Yeah, MC Graw, why are you happy?
My birthday is in 1 month. The day I was born was on September 14th, 2013. I'm gonna be 9 years old.
Really? Oh my god, that's so great to hear.
Awesome. Thanks for telling us about that. But, why aren't you making phosphorus Koopa, sulfur Koopa, chlorine Koopa, and calcium Koopa for 1 month?
Sorry, I didn't make them for 1 month, due to which I've made some other stuff, including Aiden T Koopa Sr, instead of the 4 of them, but I'll try to soon.
Wait, did you create my dad?
Yes, Aiden T Koopa, I made your dad. His voice is Matthew.
Indeed, MC Graw, you created me. Oh, hello, son. Did you miss me?
Hello Dad. I missed you so much. MC Graw, you did created my dad. Thank you.
Yes, Aiden T Koopa, I sure did. And you're welcome.
Wow, I can't believe MGraw created Aiden T Koopa Sr. That's so sweet of him.
Why yes he did.
Yes, anyway, hope you will create more soon.
Oh, he'll try to. Also, since Aiden T Koopa Sr has been created, I made the both of them.
He's talking about us.
Wait, Jacob Harrington made the both of them? Well, that's something. Also, who were you both?
Oh my god, it's my dad. I missed you so much, Dad. How are you? I'm Nolan C. Koopa.
Hi there son. It's great to see you. I'm Nolan C. Koopa Sr. I'm doing fine.
I seriously thank Jacob Harrington for this.
No problem, Nolan C. Koopa.
Is that you?
Yes. It's me.
I also created Dragonia Koopa Sr. Her voice is Amy.
Mom, I finally glad you came. Hi son. I'm Dragonia Koopa Sr. I could have been happy without you, EMC Graw. Thanks.
Wow, you got a basketball, just like me.
Yep. Also, hello son. Did you miss me? I'm Kevin G. Koopa Sr. Remember that you were having an extremely strong love for basketball? Well, you loved basketball ever since you first played it as a child, son. And remember that you were named after the basketball player Kevin Garnett, son. Well, so am I also like basketball. I think basketball is such a great sport as that you can enjoy it by yourself for hours on hours. So, when was basketball founded? The 21st of December 1891?
Nope. That was when it was first played. Speaking of which, Dad, do you like basketball?
Really? I sure do.
Great. Anyways, let me tell you something about basketball.
You know, Dad, ever since I first played basketball, when I was a child, I became pretty much obsessed with basketball, that it got up to the point that I love basketball very much. In fact, I got information of basketball. The history of basketball began when the game of basketball as it is known today was invented on December 14, 1891 when Canadian James Naismith, a physical education professor and instructor at the International Young Men's Christian Association Training School in Springfield, Massachusetts, was trying to keep his gym class active on a rainy day, to condition young athletes during cold months. From the history of basketball, Professor Naismith was born on November 6, 1861 in Ramsey, near Ontario, Canada. His achievements were hard-won. He graduated in Bachelor of Arts at the age of 20 years, during which he was awarded twice as the best and most complete athlete for his prowess in rugby, athletics, football, gymnastics, and lacrosse. On December 21, 1891, the first match of basketball was taken place in the Armory Street Court. On December 25, 1891, students spread locally Springfield new YMCA sport, and decided to promote basketball worldwide. On January 1, 1892, gymnastics instructor Senda Barronson Abbott adapts James Naismith's basketball rules for women. On January 15, 1892, Dr. James Naismith created 13 different rules, so that each team could have an equal opportunity to. They are: 1. The ball may be thrown in any direction with one or both hands. 2. The ball may be batted in any direction with one or both hands, but never with the fist. 3. A player cannot run with the ball. The player must throw it from the spot on which he catches it, allowance to be made for a man running at good speed. 4. The ball must be held by the hands. The arms or body must not be used for holding it. 5. No shouldering, holding, pushing, striking, or tripping at any way of an opponent. The first infringement of this rule by any person shall count as a foul. The second shall disqualify him until the next goal is made, or, if there was evident intent to injure the person, for the whole of the game. No substitution shall be allowed. 6. A foul is striking at the ball with the fist, violations of Rules 3 and 4, and such as described in Rule 5. 7. If either side makes 3 consecutive fouls, it shall count as a goal for the opponents. 8. A goal shall be made when the ball is thrown or batted from the grounds into the basket and stays there, providing those defending the goal do not touch or disturb the goal. If the ball rests on the edges, and the opponent moves the basket, it shall count as a goal. 9. When the ball goes out of bounds, it shall be thrown into the field, and played by the first person touching it. In case of dispute, the umpire shall throw it straight into the field. The thrower in is allowed 5 seconds. If he holds it longer, it shall go to the opponent. If any side persists in delaying the game, the umpire shall call a foul on them. 10. The umpire shall be the judge of the men, and shall note the fouls, and notify the referee when 3 consecutive fouls have been made. He shall have the power to disqualify men according to Rule 5. 11. The referee shall be the judge of the ball, and shall decide, when the ball is in play, and bounce, to which side it belongs, and shall keep the time. He shall decide, when a goal has been made, and keep account of the goals, with any other duties, that are usually performed by referee. 12. The time shall be 2 15-minute halves, with 5 minutes rest between. And 13. The side making the most goals in that time, shall be declared the winner. On January 20, 1892, the first official game was played in the YMCA Gymnasium in Albany, New York, with 9 players. The game ended at 1-0. The shot was made from 25 feet, 7.6 meters, on a court just half the size of a present-day streetball or National Basketball Association court. On March 11, 1892, first basketball game played in public, between students and faculty at the Springfield YMCA. On June 1, 1892, Santa Berenson appointed athletic director at Smith College. On February 7, 1893, Vanderbilt University plays against the local YMCA in Nashville, Tennessee, the first recorded instance of a college basketball team facing an outside opponent. On April 8, 1893, in the second recorded instance of an organized college basketball game, Geneva College faces the New Brighton YMCA in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. In 1894, the first basketball was marketed. It was laced, measured close to 32 inches, 81 centimeters, or about 4 inches, 10 centimeters, larger than the soccer ball, in circumference, and weighed less than 20 ounces, 567 grams. In January 1895, Drexel University faced Temple University in the school's first organized games. On February 9, 1895, the first intercollegiate 5-on-5 game was played at Hamline University between Hamline and the School of Agriculture, which was affiliated with the University of Minnesota. On January 18, 1896, the first ever college basketball game was played. In September 1896, the YMCA cedes rulemaking authority and control of amateur basketball to the U.S. Amateur Athletic Union. On November 7, 1896, the first known professional basketball game is played in Trenton, New Jersey. On March 20, 1897, Yale beat Penn in the first modern men's intercollegiate basketball game, between teams officially organized by their colleges, and featuring 5 players per side. On November 15, 1897, the U.S. Amateur Athletic Union resolves to host the first official National Basketball Championship. On April 23, 1898, the 23rd St. Pointryet YMCA of New York City wins the first National Basketball Championship tournament, organized by the U.S. Amateur Athletic Union. In 1907, the Amateur, All-Black Olympian Athletic League was formed in New York City consisting of the Smart Set Athletic Club, St. Christopher Club, Marathon Athletic Club, Alpha Physical Culture Club, and the Jersey City Colored YMCA, and the first inter-city basketball game between 2 black teams was played. In 1916, players were allowed to shoot after dribbling. In 1927, the Harlem Globetrotters played their first game. On June 18, 1932, a real international organization was formed to coordinate tournaments and teams in Argentina, Czechoslovakia, Greece, Italy, Latvia, Portugal, Romania, and Switzerland. Founded the International Basketball Federation. On August 7, 1936, basketball became an official sport in the United States. Team easily dominated the competition. In March 1938, the first national invitation tournament is played. On March 16, 1938, Temple University defeats the University of Colorado 60-36 in New York City, to become the inaugural champions of this annual tournament. In March 1939, the first NCAA tournament is played. On March 22, 1939, undefeated Lady tops undefeated Loyola of Chicago in the championship game of the second annual National Invitation Tournament, 44-32. LSU's 24-0 final record is the first perfect season of college basketball's postseason tournament era. On March 27, 1939, the University of Oregon defeats Ohio State University 46-33 in Evanston, Illinois, to become the inaugural champions of this tournament. On February 27, 1940, the first basketball game is televised, from Madison Square Garden at it was over NBC's experimental station in New York, W2XBS. On February 7, 1945, the three-point line, as well as other rule changes, were tested in a game between Columbia and Fordham. On June 6, 1946, the Basketball Association of America is founded. Morris Bottleoff is named league's president. On November 1, 1946, the BAA begins play as the New York Knickerbockers take on the Toronto Huskies in Toronto. Any fan taller than 6 feet 8 inches gotten free. On January 11, 1947, the BAA outlaws zone defense. On April 22, 1947, the Philadelphia Warriors beat the Chicago Stags 4-1 to win the first BAA championship. In 1948, the basketball size changes. The size had been set at 30 inches, 76 centimeters. On August 3, 1949, 6 teams from the NBL joined the BAA. The resulting 17 teams formed the National Basketball Association and named Morris Bottleoff as president. On April 23, 1950, the Minneapolis Lakers become the first team to win back-to-back championships. On November 22, 1950, the Fort Wayne Pistons beat the Minneapolis Lakers 19-18 in the lowest-scoring game in NBA history. On March 2, 1951, the East defeats the West 111-94 in the first-ever All-Star game. In 1952, the NBA widens the foul lane from 6 to 12 feet. On April 12, 1954, Minneapolis Lakers become the first team to win 3 consecutive championships. On April 9, 1959, Boston Celtics win the first of their 8 consecutive titles. On January 25, 1960, Philadelphia's Wilt Chamberlain grabs an NBA record 55 rebounds. In 1961, the Chicago Packers enter the NBA as the first expansion team. On December 8, 1961, Chamberlain scored 78 points and pulled down 43 rebounds. On March 2, 1962, Wilt Chamberlain scores an NBA record 100 points in a game versus New York. On March 10, 1962, Oscar Robertson of Cincinnati finishes the season with an average of 30.8 ppg, 12.5 rpg, and 11.4 assists a game, becoming the first player to average a triple-double over a season. In 1964, NBA widens foul lane from 12 to 16 feet. On April 28, 1966, Boston wins its 8th title in a row, the longest streak in league history. On February 1, 1967, the American Basketball Association is formed, ABA, with George Mikan as president. On October 13, 1967, the ABA opens its first game as the Oakland Oaks beat the Anaheim Amigos 134-129. In 1968, the NBA expands to 14 teams with the addition of the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. On January 11, 1968, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame opens in Springfield, Massachusetts. On February 17, 1968, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame opens in Springfield, Mass. On May 5, 1969, Bill Russell and the Celtics end their run of 11 rings in 13 season. In 1970, the NBA expands to 17, with the addition of Buffalo Braves, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Portland Trail Blazers. On January 7, 1972, the Los Angeles Lakers beat the Atlanta Hawks 134-90 for their NBA record 33 straight wins. In 1974, ABA/US officially forms, to become the United States representative in FIBA, the International Basketball Federation. On March 7, 1974, the NBA expands to 18, when they add the New Orleans Jazz. In August 1974, Moses Malone signs with the Utah Stars of the ABA to be the first professional basketball player right from high school. On April 9, 1975, in the Philippines, the Philippine Basketball Association's first game was played at the Araneta Coliseum in Cubao, Quezon City, Philippines. On April 30, 1975, Larry O'Brien is named commissioner succeeding Walter Kennedy. On June 17, 1976, 4 former ABBA teams San Antonio, Indiana, Denver, and New York join the NBA, the ABBA Folds. On July 7, 1978, the NBA approves a franchise swap as John Y. Brown and Harry Mangiarine acquire the Celtics, and Irv Levin acquires the Braves. He soon moves the Braves to San Diego and become the Clippers. On October 12, 1979, Chris Ford hits the NBA's first three-pointer. On May 1, 1980, the NBA admits the Dallas Mavericks, bringing the NBA to 23 teams. On December 13, 1983, the Detroit Pistons defeat the Denver Nuggets 186-184 in the highest-scoring game in NBA history. On February 1, 1984, David J. Stern becomes the 4th commissioner succeeding Larry O'Brien. On April 5, 1984, Lakers center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar becomes the NBA's all-time leader in points scored against the Utah Jazz in Las Vegas, Nevada. On August 1, 1984, Michael Jordan wins 10 titles, the Rookie of the Year, 5-time NBA MVP, 6-time NBA champion, 6-time NBA Finals MVP, 10-time All-NBA First Team, 9-time NBA All-Defensive First Team, Defensive Player of the Year, 14-time NBA All-Star, 3-time NBA All-Star MVP, and the 50th anniversary All-Time Team. On May 12, 1985, the New York Knicks win the first-ever NBA lottery pick and select Patrick Ewing. On June 18, 1985, the NBA draft goes from 10 rounds to 7. On April 13, 1986, the Celtics go 40-1 at home for the best home record in NBA history. On April 20, 1986, Chicago's Michael Jordan scores a playoff-high 63 points in a loss to the Celtics. On April 22, 1987, the NBA grants expansion teams to Charlotte, Miami, Minnesota, and Orlando. On April 26, 1988, the NBA permanently adds a third draft. On July 25, 1988, the Atlanta Hawks become the first NBA team to play in the Soviet Union as they defeat the Soviet team 85-84. On April 8, 1989, FIBA allows the NBA to send NBA players to the Olympics. On October 12, 1989, professional basketball players go international as the name changed to USA Basketball. On November 9, 1989, Dale Ellis of Seattle plays 69 of 73 min West in a 5-overtime game versus Milwaukee. On November 2, 1990, the Phoenix Suns defeat the Utah Jazz at Tokyo, Japan in the first major sports event to be played outside of North America by any major American sports league. On December 30, 1990, Scott Skiles of Orlando dishes out NBA record 30 assists versus Denver. On August 8, 1992, the Dream Team begins play in Barcelona, Spain. They eventually win the gold medal for the USA. On March 24, 1993, Michael Williams of Minnesota makes an NBA record 97 free throws in a row. On November 4, 1993, the NBA agrees to expand to Toronto. On April 27, 1994, the NBA agrees to expand to Vancouver, Canada. Both Toronto and Vancouver will begin play in 95-96. On February 1, 1995, Utah Jazz scorer John Stockton becomes the NBA's all-time assists leader. On February 20, 1996, Jazz scorer John Stockton becomes the NBA's all-time steals leader. On April 21, 1996, the Chicago Bulls defeat the Washington Wizards to finish the season 72-10, the best record ever. On April 24, 1996, the NBA agrees to start a Women's Nation Basketball Association. On April 28, 1996, Ted St. Martin made 5,221 consecutive free throws, the most of every one. On February 9, 1997, the NBA announces its 50 greatest players. On October 31, 1997, Violet Palmer becomes the first woman to referee a major sporting event. She is soon joined by Dee Cantor. On June 18, 2001, the Washington Wizards draft Kwame Brown as the first ever high schooler to be drafted number 1 overall in the NBA. On June 26, 2002, the Houston Rockets draft Yao Ming to be the first number 1 overall pick to never play college ball in the U.S. On January 10, 2003, the NBA agrees to expand to Charlotte once again, bringing the number of teams to 30. On February 24, 2004, the San Francisco 49ers select Utah center Andrew Bogut as the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. On June 24, 2004, the Milwaukee Bucks select Utah center Andrew Bogut as the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. On February 21, 2007, the International Basketball Federation lifts the suspension of the Philippines as it recognizes the new Basketball Federation. On July 20, 2007, the NBA acknowledges that the US FBI is investigating whether referee Tim Donaghy bet on NBA games, including those he officiated. In 2008, the Seattle Supersonics relocate to Oklahoma City and become the Oklahoma City Thunder, but as part of their agreement with the city for leaving they cannot keep the Sonics history and thus are usually considered an expansion team. On July 8, 2010, LeBron James makes the decision to sign with the Miami Heat, joining new signee Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. The decision was televised in an hour-long special on ESPN. On December 21, 2010, the University of Connecticut women's team wins its 89th consecutive game. On December 30, 2010, UConn's record-winning streak ends at 90, when the Huskies lose 71-59 to Stanford. On June 1, 2011, Shaquille O'Neal announced his retirement from basketball after 19 seasons and 4 world championships. O'Neal made the announcement on his Twitter page. On July 1, 2011, the collective bargaining agreement between the NBA and its players' union expires, and the league immediately imposes a lockout of its players. On July 20, 2011, Yao Ming officially announced his retirement from basketball after 9 seasons and a series of foot and ankle injuries. On September 26, 2011, New Jersey Nets minority owner Jay-Z announced that the team would change its name to the Brooklyn Nets. On April 18, 2012, Tennessee Lady Volunteers coach Pat Summitt stepped down after 38 years and 8 NCAA championships. On December 17, 2012, Syracuse coach Jim Boeheim became the 3rd NCAA Division I men's coach with 900 career wins following the Orange's 72-68 win over Detroit. He had been preceded to 900 wins by Bob Knight and current leader Mike Krzyzewski. On January 21, 2013, the Maloof family announces that it has reached an agreement to sell the Sacramento Kings to a Seattle-based group, led by Chris Hansen and Steve Ballmer, that plans to move the team to Seattle for the 2013-14 season, and resurrect the Supersonics name. On April 15, 2013, the 2013 WNBA draft is held at the ESPN studios in Bristol, Connecticut, with Baylor center Brittany Griner chosen first overall. On April 29, 2013, after Sacramento mayor and former NBA player Kevin Johnson recruits an ownership group to make a counteroffer to keep the Kings in Sacramento, a league committee unanimously recommends that owners reject the Seattle group's deal. On May 31, 2013, the sale of the Kings to the Sacramento-based group, led by Vivek Ranadive, is closed. On June 27, 2013, the 2013 NBA draft is held at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, with Anthony Bennett, a power forward from UNLV, becoming the first Canadian to be chosen as the first overall pick. On December 6, 2013, in the highest-scoring game in NCAA Division I women's history, Kentucky defeats Baylor 133-130 in 4 overtimes. On February 1, 2014, Adam Silver replaced David Stern as the 5th commissioner in NBA history. On April 29, 2014, the NBA bans Los Angeles Clippers owner Donald Sterling for life for racist comments. On January 25, 2015, Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski becomes the first NCAA Division I men's coach with 1,000 career wins. On February 3, 2015, Connecticut women's coach Gino Auriemma becomes the fastest coach to 900 wins in college basketball history at any level. On February 7, 2015, Herb Magee, coach at NCAA Division II Philadelphia University since 1967, becomes the 2nd NCAA men's coach with 1,000 career wins. On February 3, 2016, the San Miguel Bearmen won their 22nd championship in the 2015-16 PBA Philippine Cup Finals. They were the first professional basketball team in the world to win a title, coming down from a 0-3 deficit in a best-of-7 final series. On April 13, 2016, the Golden State Warriors set the NBA single-season victory mark by notching their 73rd win in the season's final game. On June 19, 2016, the Cleveland Cavaliers won their first championship in the 2016 NBA Finals. On June 28, 2016, legendary Tennessee basketball coach Pat Summitt dies at the age of 64. On September 23, 2016, in the 2016 PBA Governors Cup playoffs, the Barangay of San Miguel made its first ever Final Four appearance after an 8-conference quarter-final drought. On October 9, 2016, Jimmy Lapak became the all-time leader in three-point shots made in the PBA history in the second game of the 2016 PBA Governors Cup Finals. On October 14, 2016, June Mastroianni settled a history after getting his third straight MVP award in the PBA Leo Awards, tying also with Bugs Adonato. On October 19, 2016, the Barangay of San Miguel clinched their first-ever championship in 8 years, after defeating the Meralco Bolts with a three-point buzzer beater made by Justin Brownlee, via 91-88 victory in Game 6 of the 2016 PBA Governors Cup Finals. This also count that its head coach, Tim Cohn, won its 19th championship in his coaching career. In 2017, the NBA implements two-way contracts, where players will sign deals to mostly play in the G League, but be allowed to be on NBA rosters. On March 11, 2020, the NBA suspends its season after Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert tests positive to the coronavirus. On March 12, 2020, Jazz teammate Donovan Mitchell tests positive for the disease. This marks the first, and thus far only time the league has suspended operation mid-season. I would not, and could not hate basketball at all. There are variations of basketball, such as half-court, 21, 42, around the world, bounce, firing squad, fives, ORSE, hot shot, knockout, one-shot conquer, steal the bacon, tip it, tips, the one, basketball war, one-on-one, a variation in which two players will use only a small section of the court, often no more than a half of a court, and compete to play the ball into a single hoop. Beach basketball, a modified version of basketball, played on beaches. Dunk hoops, aka dunk ball, a variation of the game of basketball, played on basketball hoops with lowered rims. Slam ball, a full-contact basketball, with trampolines. Street ball, a less formal variant of basketball, played on playgrounds, and in gymnasiums across the world. Unicycle basketball, played using a regulation basketball on a regular basketball court with the same rules. For example, one must dribble the ball while riding. Ring ball, a traditional South African sport that stems from basketball, has been played since 1907. The sport is now promoted in South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, Lesotho, India, and Mauritius to establish ring ball as an international sport. Korfball, a variation started in the Netherlands, and is now played worldwide as a mixed-gender team ball game, similar to mixed netball and basketball. Netball, recreational basketball, widely casually in schools and colleges where fun, entertainment, and camaraderie rule, rather than winning a game. Basketball schools and academies, where students are trained in developing basketball fundamentals, undergo fitness and endurance exercises, and learn various basketball skills. Basketball students learn proper ways of passing, ball handling, dribbling, shooting from various distances, rebounding, offensive moves, defense, layups, screens, basketball rules and basketball ethics. Also popular are the basketball camps organized for various occasions, often to get prepared for basketball events, and basketball clinics for improving skills. College and university basketball, and educational institutions of higher learning. This includes National Collegiate Athletic Association intercollegiate basketball. Deaf basketball relies on signing for communication. Any deaf sporting event that happens, its purpose is to serve as a catalyst for the socialization of a low-incidence and geographically dispersed population. Wheelchair basketball, a sport based on basketball, but designed for disabled people in wheelchairs, and considered one of the major disabled sports practiced. Ethnic and religion-based basketball. Examples of ethnic basketball include Indo-Pak or Russian or Armenian leagues in the United States or Canada, for example, or Filipino expatriate basketball leagues in the Gulf or the United States. Religion-based basketball includes, most notably, church-related Christian basketball leagues, Jewish, Muslim, and Hindu basketball leagues, and so on. Show basketball, performed by entertainment basketball show teams, the prime example being the Harlem Globetrotters. Celebrity basketball, made of celebrities, actors, singers, and so on, playing in their own leagues or in public, often for entertainment and charity events. Midget basketball, made up of athletes of short stature offering shows using basketball. Slam ball, a very intense form of basketball game. Actually it is an elevated game of basketball that is infused with football tactics, and involves bouncing of the trampolines. Gay basketball, a major part of events during the Gay Games, World Out Games and Euro Games. Midnight basketball, a basketball initiative to curb inner-city crime in the United States and elsewhere by keeping urban youth off the streets and engaging them with sports alternatives to drugs and crime. Mini basketball, played by underage children, maxi basketball, played by more elderly individuals, wristball, the avid Native American following of basketball, particularly a style of play particular to Native American teams of some areas, school or high school basketball, the sport of basketball being one of the most frequently exercised and popular sports in all school systems, and fantasy basketball, popularized by ESPN Fantasy Sports, NBA.com, and Yahoo Fantasy Sports.
Wow son, I never knew you loved basketball very much.
Yay. I still do.
Great.